Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Yebs.
My name is Yebs.
And today we're going to be looking at how the freak we flick this big book. It's going to be awesome. This is a guide for saving you millions upon millions of GP per hour because as you may or may not know, those big book pages are freaking expensive and I'm tired of paying for them, quite frankly. So I'm going to help you guys learn how to flick this book for something like 200, 300, 400K per hour instead of paying, 4 to 6 mil per hour. It's going to be huge savings. So we're first going to be looking at kind of the basics of it and then how I run it in my clue setup. And then we'll talk about a really sweaty method to make sure that you're maximizing the number of procs per hour as well at the end. So stay tuned. If you want to see more great content like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like the video. If you do find it helpful, it definitely helps us get out to more people so that we can hopefully crash these big book page prices, man. They are just ridiculous. So let's see if we can make it happen. All right, guys, so let's read through this description real quick. Basically, when this book is active, it provides Nature's Veil effect. And so when we're using non-combat skills, and spoiler, you can actually use this with a Bone Crusher off and still do combat. That's a different story though. For flicking, we're actually going to be doing non-combat skills. We'll be disassembling items and that's going to give us a teeny little XP proc, which is enough to make this Nature's Veil effect go off. So when it does go off, we're going to get a catalyst of alteration that will appear and you'll get a nice little tingly sound as well and a notification in your chat saying that it has spawned, and once you click it, it will give you between 1 and 3 sealed clue scrolls of a single type. So these will be deposited straight to your bank unless you have a Kairos clue carrier in your inventory, in which case they will go there. You also get a little XP boost, which is kind of negligible to be honest. So that's the basics. We're going to be basically taking advantage of this book's effect to get a whole bunch of these because you're able to do this once per minute. Once again, this is once per game minute, not actually once per minute of procking, which is something that I mistook that for, honestly, up until recently when I was corrected. But it's actually been really, really enlightening, and you can get a whole bunch more clues per hour by knowing this. So once again, it is per game minute, not per like 1 minute to 1 minute of a proc, if that makes sense. All right, so now we're going to look at a keybind and proc demonstration thing. Sorry for like the funkiest of setups here, but this is how I do it. My different keybinds are actually on different bars. So I have my BIC book here, my scripture of BIC on my Z key. And up here I have my disassemble on my G key. So what you can do is, if you were to have this item, you can drag it onto your bar here and it will then take up one of these slots. And same with the disassemble option. If you go to the magic book and then to skilling, there's actually going to be this disassemble here. You can then drag this up onto your action bar and you'll be able to have that key bound. So you can put these on whatever you'd like. I just have mine on Z and G just for, I don't really know why. Honestly, I don't know, but that's just where they landed and that's kind of become my habit of how to do this. As far as actually getting this to proc, we're going to need to disassemble something. And that's because this big book, basically it procs off of XP drops. So we need to have an XP drop. And as you see here, let's start disassembling. You can see here that we're going to get this popping up. We get XP on each one, like 7 XP or something like that. I believe it's a little bit less if you're disassembling stuff. It's kind of trash, but this is just random crap that I disassemble for junk. There are a bunch of other great items as well for junk for making fortunate components into alchemical hydrixes, but this is what I do just so I can get those extra junk as I am running around. So as far as this goes, I will go Z and then that activates the book. You can see it's active, and then I will disassemble with G and click once, and then I will cancel and turn off my book. So it's a few actions. It's, 1, turn on the book, 2, disassemble, 3, cancel, 4, turn off the book. So it does take a second to kind of, do this. It's probably like a 5-second action, but you're able to do this once per minute. And the great thing about that is that you can get 60 procs per hour, which is the exact same number of procs that you would have if you kept that book on for the entire time. And the big perk about this is really that you have it on for 5 seconds, right? Maybe you have it on for 3 seconds. Like, how long does this take? Like Z, boom, 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 boom. That's probably, yeah, as you see here, we got our mushroom. Let's see what we get. We got 1 elite clue scroll, 1 elite. So not bad. Boom, that elite's worth 5 million GP. So boom, that was already worth a ton of money, which is great. So that's kind of the logic behind this. You're gonna be flicking this on for 3-second intervals. So instead of paying 4 to 6 mil per hour to have the big book on always, we can just flick this for really short intervals and save a lot of money. Instead of spending 5 mil, maybe an hour on average, you're gonna be spending maybe what's 1/20th of that? Like 200, 300, 400K max? It's awesome. It's gonna be such a discount, and for the number of clues that you get, you're still gonna be averaging like 10 to 20 to 25 clues per hour. That is huge profits, and you're really cutting down the amount that you're gonna be spending. And with bank standing, with maybe if you're chilling at GE World 2, whatever else, you can just have a stack of disassembles here, and once a minute you can come in and do this and see if you get lucky and get a proc that minute. It's going to be the equivalent of being doing no heat smithing or Elder Rune bars or whatever other stuff that people are doing to AFK gather clues. So this is a huge bonus. I do just want to talk a little bit about how many clues you can expect per hour with the big book. I actually did a lot of this back when the pages were like 1 or 1.5 mil an hour, so it was really low, and I was still making profit with doing Elder Rune bar smithing. I did about 30 hours or so of collecting, and I wrote down in a little notebook, which was before the Alt1 clue tracker, which is too bad, but I did this in a little notebook, writing down each hour and how many clues that I received. So this isn't the largest sample ever, but I think that it gives you a relatively close ballpark estimate of how many clues of each tier you can expect per hour. So if we look at that top left one, that is a chart signifying how many I got per hour. You can see it's kind of all over the place, as some hours you'll get a whole bunch of clues of a certain tier, and other hours, not so many. As you see that last really big elite swoop up, I got like 14 in that hour, which was super crazy because I got really lucky on a lot of triple procs. In the bottom left-hand corner, that just shows the average, which is just a different showing of the chart on the right. So 5.33 elites per hour is where I landed, at least so far. I may do more of this in the future, but who knows? This seems to be a decent sample size. Not the largest, but good enough. Mediums coming in at second with 4.39 mediums per hour. I also got 3 to 3.5 hards, which is awesome. I really wish that those were more than the mediums because mediums suck. Easies were around 1 per hour. You get triple procs on those really easy, I've kind of noticed as a trend. And masters, 0.09 per hour, which actually weirdly isn't horrible. It's about a 1 in 100 chance that your elite proc actually turns into a master proc. And my friends will tease me that I've never got a 3 times masters, like a 3 master drop from a catalyst, which is really lucky. I've gotten a couple of 2s, but usually it's going to be a 1. On the right-hand side, that's going to be my clues over time, which shows, where the average is over time. So you can see it kind of goes around a little bit. I got a lot of clues right off the bat in the first 5 hours, which were not totally accurate and representative of the total, but you can see how that average kind of all comes together towards the end and is pretty representative. So that's kind of what you can expect as far as these go, as you are getting those 60 procs per hour. If you are hitting this amount of procs with your big book flicking, you can also expect these rates while you are running clues or sitting at a bank or whatever as well. So that's just something to keep in mind. All right, guys, looking into this to show you guys how I do it kind of in a more lazy method. I will flick my big book pretty much just like at interval. Like for instance, I haven't done this for a while. I will quickly do my little flick, and what do we get? 1 medium. Disgusting. Pretty much, I'll just flick it from time to time. Like I notice that with slider puzzles, for instance, they take you, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, depending on how quick you are at those. So usually after a longer period of time without having flicked the big book, I will go ahead and try it again. The more exact way, which I will show you in a second, would be to just flick it on the minute, and I'll show you exactly how to time that. but pretty much in my lazier method, it's just gonna be flicking it when I realize that I haven't done it for, 30 seconds, a minute, something like that. There are far more exact ways to do it though, which I will show you right now. One of the best ways to actually record how often to do this, and you can do this a whole bunch of different ways, but this is the way that I've been doing it. If you go to the App Store and put in interval timer, and there's gonna be this interval timer. It's this top one right here, this blue one. If you click on that, you're gonna see a whole bunch of furniture. No, you're gonna see now this interface once you download the app, of course. I already had it. But once you're here, you can go to just this routines in the bottom left-hand corner section and click the plus button. You can then name a timer. You could even do BigBook if you wanted. And what we're gonna do is have different sets. So you see the interval cycle here. You can see high intensity, low intensity. This sounds like totally crazy, but it works, trust me. So we set this to a 1 minute interval. And then we can set the low intensity also to a 1 minute interval. And good, so we can repeat that number of cycles. How many times do we repeat that? I mean, frick, you could do 100 repeats of 1 minute each. And then rest between cycles, cool down. We don't really need any of that. But now we see this screen. We're going to be able to now have 1 minute to 1 minute intervals. And what this is really cool for is it will actually vibrate and make a little sound when you are going to be ready to proc your book. And let me actually hop over and show you this now. Hey guys, it's Editing Yeps. How's it going? Well, we're gonna come in here and you see that we have our timer. You're gonna stare at this thing, like seriously stare at it. And once it hits the new minute, so you gotta have a 1 minute stare down. To be completely honest, you're just gonna stare this thing down. And the second that it turns to 16:37, we're gonna push the start button on our little clock here. So, oh, boom, boom. So you hear that little sound. Now we have it counting down. So right now we are on our new minute. We're able to disassemble, right? You can disassemble and then we are off again. We now have 46, whatever seconds until it hits 0. When it hits 0, it'll make that little chime again, and that chime is synced up exactly to the new minute of the game clock here. And so that will let us know when we have a new possibility at a BigBook proc available to us. So this is like a really sweaty method, and you can do this while running clues, So if we were running all over the world right now, we would wait until we hear that little buzzer sound, and then we know that we, from that buzzer to the next buzzer, can get a BigBook proc. So that's kind of what I do. So for instance, I already tried this minute, right? We've got a few more seconds here. We'll hear the little chime go, and we can then go and disassemble again. And then we have another set of time. So, this will be, this timer will be as closely set to the game clock as you are quick at clicking that button after seeing this change. So it depends on your setup, but it should be relatively close, within a second or two probably. And this should help you get maximum procs while you're out running clues. Once again, you can use a whole bunch of different things, but this is just a way that I found to have a chime go off at the top of every new game minute so that I can maximize my BigBook efficiency. And so honestly, doing this with 2 accounts, as I have been doing, it kind of is a lot. Like it's, 3 seconds, I have to hop to my other screen, 3 seconds, because I run 2 hard clue accounts at once, right? It takes some time and some efficiency out of the hour, to be completely honest. But if you picture those clues, from earlier on that I showed you getting like 5.33 elites an hour, if you multiply that by 2 though, that's gonna be, 10.6 elites an hour gathered across 2 accounts, which is pretty dirty, honestly. So that's kind of the sweaty method of how I do things there. And I think that that's everything for this video, honestly, guys. I really appreciate you guys checking out the video today. If you found any value out of this or had any ideas, or maybe you have other cool ideas of how to get this max efficiency with BigBook, maybe you have your own methods, I'd love if you'd share those down below in the comment section, or any other tips with the BigBook, because it's kind of a mystery. It's something that you kind of learn piece by piece. A lot of things are unspoken and aren't directly outlined. So I tried to get a little bit of those out today, hopefully so that some people can learn how to use this a bit better. But I'm sure as I've learned a lot, I'm sure I can learn a lot more. So drop those comments down below. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you want to watch me open clues live, go ahead and check out my other playlists for the Santa Hat series, which is one we are just about to finish up here soon, and or my previous Time to Die or Get Rich or Die Trying, and we have others in the future too. So keep an eye out for those. Anyway, thanks so much, guys. Have a beautiful, wonderful day, and we'll catch you soon. Peace out.